If you could, take us through your thought process on returning. I know you worked this through your mind a lot, whether you were going to continue on, and you ultimately decided to be here, thankfully for everyone, but if you could take everybody through kind of how that thought process went.
Yeah, when I crossed the finish line here a year ago, I was unsure about my running future. I had accomplished a lifelong dream, and I was thinking, what can top this? And it's really hard to top this, near impossible. But I wanted to give my hometown marathon, Boston Marathon, one more go. I felt like physically and mentally I still had what it would take to go through the training and to compete at the highest level. And as we all know, Boston was cold, really cold. And I didn't feel like I was able to execute the kind of race that I'm capable of. It's like studying for a test, and you think you're taking a history exam, but then you're given a math exam. And I just felt like that wasn't a good representation of my athletic ability on that day. So once again, after Boston, I kind of sat in the unknown of not really knowing what to do next, because I thought that would be the conclusion, like the perfect ending, a really great race in Boston. And because I didn't get that, I sat with Chris, I think in like May or June, and he said, we'd love to have you back in New York. And I said, it's too soon, I can't give you an answer. I don't know if my heart and my mind can go back to the training and do what it takes, because I poured everything I had into that, what I thought was my last race in Boston. He gave me some time to marinate in this unknown, and middle of July, late July, August, after having trained throughout the summer with my teammates at Abbott Track Club and gone over to Europe and paced one of my teammates to an American record in the 5,000 meters, I kind of said, you know what? Maybe I still have this, and maybe I still have the passion and the drive to continue, and I did. So I contacted New York Road Runners and said, I'm in it for one more go. I know it's going to be so hard to top what I did last year, but I still think there's something to be said, and still coming and doing what I love. And it doesn't necessarily mean I have to break the finish line for it to be a success for myself and for everyone else.
Thanks, Shalane. Well, we're happy you did decide to come back, and it was a special race last year. This year is equally as special coming in. The American women have really sort of put a stamp on the past 365 days of performance. Des winning in Boston, and really some other great competitors coming in. Molly, Steph Bruce, Allie Kiefer. If you could talk a little bit about what it's like in the American women running scene right now at that distance, particularly the marathon distance. It's been a bit of a theme throughout the day, so I'd like to hear your thoughts on it.
Yeah, I think it was Des that said this earlier, like a month ago when we were on the phone with some media, and I completely agree. Success breeds success, and I think in the last year, having two American women do what we've sat around thinking it was like almost impossible, felt impossible at times, and there were moments where I felt like this is never going to happen for me, and it may never happen for another American woman in the near future. But I think seeing the impossible happen really, if more than anything, it's just trusting our system and our process and giving the confidence that we need to keep putting ourselves in a position in training. It's been really fun for me to follow all the other American women on this journey to November 4th, because I feel like because of social media I can track how their training is going, and I feel like there's this enthusiasm that I've never seen, this willingness to completely throw themselves into their training and just crush themselves, and knowing that they're going to come back stronger for having done the training. And I think we have a swagger that we're bringing to this race and to the races forward.
So we have two folks with mics. If you have any questions, you can always just raise your hand. Otherwise, I'll keep talking. So if you don't want to hear me talking, you better ask a question. There's a question right there. I won't take it personally. It's okay.
You said in a recent interview that because of the win, you have the potential to now take more risks. What does that mean for you in terms of your approach coming into this race and your tactics you might pursue in it?
I think it just feels like I'm more like at peace and a sense of freedom. So to me, I feel just as excited, but there's a sense of peace and calm to my approach, and not feeling this desperation. And sometimes I think in the past it would like make me feel like I had to force a move or force things, and there's an element of just kind of letting it flow. And so I feel like I'm open to the flow of the race. Whatever the other athletes decide they want to do on Sunday, I feel like I'm open to everything and willing to cover moves that maybe in the past I would have been more calculated about or held back. So in a sense, I just feel like there's this peacefulness, so therefore I'm willing to take whatever risks that I need to do.
Can you take us through a little of the training over the last few months?
I got started training late August here in New York. I was doing lots of doubles in the park, which was great for some visualization. And then shortly thereafter, went up to Mammoth Lakes, California for 2 weeks, overlapped with my teammate Chris Derrick, who will be in the men's field. We put in great, solid training there together as housemates and cooking mates. And then I went to Park City, Utah, where I finished off the last month of training. So I haven't been home in like 6.5 weeks, but I felt like this was an approach that I needed to take to come in with the best physical and mental preparation to defend a title. The training has gone well.
Great. So you were here in August, actually a good segue, to take part in some programming with Run for the Future, and also I think to launch your cookbook, which you could talk about, but I think is it still a bestseller? Is it still?
Yes, so I was here in August for the Run for the Future program as they're about to take on the challenge of the Harlem 5K, the Percy Sutton Harlem 5K, and then also here to promote my second cookbook, Run Fast, Cook Fast, Eat Slow. And while we were at the event, we were notified that we became, for the second time, a New York Times bestseller, which is a huge achievement. I think I actually cried because it's those kind of achievements are out of my realm of anything I ever thought was possible for myself. And so that was like those kind of achievements, because I've only known athletics for most of my life, to have something outside of athletics be recognized on such a big scale, really important to me and to my co-author, who dedicates a crazy amount of time to making sure we have the best possible cookbook to give our fans.
Is there another one on the horizon?
Too soon to ask.
I think it's safe to say you're the first person ever to win the TCS New York City Marathon and have a best-selling cookbook. I think we could put that in the media guide.
I like that.
Talk a little bit about, you talked about the Run for the Future program and talking to the young ladies before the 5K run. I know you were part of that the year before when you actually ran with them. You can see the picture over there. Mackenzie. If you could talk about sort of what the vibe was like there with the 100 young ladies as they were ready to culminate, with the run, and what you were feeling and sort of the sense of the program.
So I had seen the Run for the Future program and participated with Mackenzie and Run the 5K and had an incredible experience, but my co-author, Elise, who's new to New York Roadrunners and their programs, seeing it through her eyes made me realize what a huge impact and how special the program was and what New York Roadrunners does. And we were able to speak to the 100 young women that night and listen to them speak, which was more powerful than anything because you could see the transformation within 7 weeks from these young women who probably were not very active athletically before, and to see them grow this self-confidence and this self-worth and these friendships over the 7 weeks. And most of them went into the program thinking, well, I just want $2,000, to go towards college. I'm not really into this running thing. And then to see the transformation of where they're like, you know what? I feel really good about myself. I feel really proud of what I've accomplished. I've made some amazing friends. We went through highs and lows through those 7 weeks, but we came out on the end and really extremely proud of themselves, and they really enjoyed the process. And the bonus on the end is like they forgot about the money. They were more into the friendships that they built, and then they actually may have gotten the bug to run. So it's an incredible program. So happy to be a part of it and included. It's been a gift to me, but having seen it through my friends' eyes really showed me how special it was.
Great. I think we have a question there from the great John Anderson.
So you describe that picture. When you look at that one over here, what should we see there?
That looks like a confident, happy woman. You mean contrasting the two?
No, I just mean what's all in that picture. I mean, I see the change. What do you see when you look at that?
That's a lot of hard work for that moment. Extremely, a lot of doubts and a lot of questioning what I'm doing, and then trying to rally myself, and a lot of really tough moments of thinking it would never happen. That is just like pure work right there. That's a lot of work to get to that moment.
Again, if you want to have a question, just raise your hand right over there. Barbara.
Shalane, you felt like your hometown race in Boston like was your last. What does your running future look like after noon on Sunday?
What does my running future look like after Sunday? I have no idea, which is really rare for an athlete to not know, because we're all so calculated in type A and planning out our future, and especially thinking in 4-year Olympic cycles. But honestly, I have no idea beyond Sunday. So.
We have just a question in the back.
Just wondering, your coach, obviously Jerry, has had such success in recent years, but he obviously doesn't do that many interviews and stuff, so we don't know too much about him. How would you describe, I suppose, his approach to training, his methods, and to also his personality, what he's like to deal with?
I can't understand the word. I'm so sorry.
It might be the microphone, is it? I was just asking about Jerry Schumacher. How would you describe his training methods and also his personality?
So Jerry's training methods and personality? I've joked, but I call him my benevolent dictator. He is, he's a great leader, I can tell you that. And he's been a mentor of mine for the last, since 2008. So for the last 10 years, it's been the longest coaching relationship that I've had. The most important aspect about him is that he cares. And every decision that he makes may not be agreeable to everyone, including his athletes, but at the end of the day, I know he always is making decisions to put me in the best possible position to fulfill my goal, whatever my goal is. But he's a fantastic leader, and I think that comes from his background, having been a collegiate coach to a bunch of young men at University of Wisconsin. And every year that Jerry's progressed, I started working with him when he first became a professional coach from the collegiate system, and I can tell you he's just become a much better coach with each year. As athletes, we get better, 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 and then we're on a decline. Jerry's continuously getting better as a coach. And so I feel really fortunate to work with him because he has enhanced my athletic career, but then also I think, been a great mentor to me in all aspects of life.
I think we have a question up front.
When you were making your decision if you were going to run again, what weight did being the reigning champion play into that you don't want to come here and not show up?
It sounds really nice to hear that my name is associated with being defending champion, because I've never had that in my entire career. So yeah, that definitely that's a feel-good moment, but I know that there's a lot of work to come back, and I had to ask myself if I was really willing to do the work and what it takes to be competing at the highest level. And I've had a very, what I believe is a really consistent career, and so I don't want, my final races in my career to be a downward trend. I'd rather have it be at a really high level continuously.
I think we have one in the back. Question?
Yeah, right here, Shalane. With this big story being the U.S. women going into this race, I want to know, for you as one of those leading U.S. women, what way has that storyline kind of manifested in your life from either interactions you've had with people in the city or things you've read or seen or heard?
Sorry, so you're asking about my win and the American women and how it's impacted the general public?
Sorry, how it's come across to you leading up to this race. Is there a particular interaction or something you've read or heard where it's really kind of hit you that this race is really most of all about how great the U.S. women are going into it?
I'm not totally sure I could hear that, sorry.
So was there a moment where you were like, wow, this is amazing, this field of American women, and it's a big deal and we're all going at it? Or is it really just, you just have to come back and there's a lot of hard work and, it's nice that, everyone's running, but really never hit you?
Yeah, what made me want to come back is having seen what the field and the American women that were lining up to be a part of this race. So that enthusiasm by the other American women, I think they're dreaming like, well, maybe it's my turn, maybe it's my chance. And so that enthusiasm by them excites me. It makes me want to be a part of the race even more when I see that other people and other athletes are excited.
Great. Now, not to sell short this field, because we have some incredible women running who aren't American women, Vivian Chariot, Mary Gattani. Talk about the field as a whole, and I know who's running mattered to you, and explain why it matters to you to run against the best, to bring out your best.
Yeah, I get excited by seeing exceptionally challenging fields. It does something to me that makes me excited to go do the training because it is hard. And so thinking of the possibility of beating Vivian, Vivian is maybe one of the most talented athletes I've ever witnessed, and hardworking athletes. She's just an exceptional woman, and I've never beaten Vivian. So that excites me, the possibility of racing Vivian over the marathon. I've run against her on the track countless times in world cross country. When I won a bronze, she won the gold. She's just an incredible athlete. And then obviously Mary Gattani knows the streets of New York very well and is going to go down as one of the most decorated marathoners of all time. So having the women of that caliber and of that talent and hard work, I want to see where I stack against them, and it makes me a better athlete by running against them.
Do you take pride in the fact that maybe the women's field here this year is being talked about more than the men's field? It's almost the marquee matchup. Does that mean something to you, or is it you're not thinking about that, the totality of it?
No. Any chance that we get to be in the spotlight of the American women and the women's field, that's something to be relished. I don't know that I've always been a part of races where it is like that. So to have people excited about the prospects of this field, and that they're going to tune in to look to see how the American women are faring up against the rest of the world. I think that's the kind of pivotal moment where you have little girls who are sitting in front of their TVs at home, and they can pick out 5 different, 6, 7 different American women going up against this international field, and they may resonate with Molly Huddle and say, like, I want to be the next Molly Huddle, and that's the kind of pivotal moment and change in our sport that I think it takes.
We have a question in the back, but I want to just follow up real quick. You talked about young girls at home watching this. I think all of us who follow saw a great series of photos on Twitter and Instagram of some young girls who used this photo to create their Halloween costumes and dressed up as Shalane Flanagan. Did you see that, and what did you think about that? Is that the first time anyone ever dressed up like you for Halloween?
I think it's happened in the past, but for some reason this has become an iconic photo, and somehow it must resonate with people. I'm shocked at the ages of women that were dressing up as me, from little toddlers to grown women, but it was an extreme form of flattery. My parents would tell me that when my sister wanted to dress like me, you know, or do anything like me, and I get annoyed. But you know, when people want to be like you, that's the biggest compliment. And yeah, it made me extremely happy. It made me happy to send to my parents, because I'm like, hey, you know, we did something right? The other people are going to have their kids dress up as me. But it's not just me, it's just, I think it's dressing up as a female athlete and having a big moment, so.